Hey there, guys. I want to thank you, as always, for joining the weekly live stream as we do every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, of course, before I do get started, I do want to mention my website. As always, it's bponlinefitness.com. Again, you can check out a ton of information as it relates to online coaching. There's a free fitness blog on there that you can check out, a ton of free information available to you. You can also sign up for the email list where I send out a new email newsletter each and every week on various topics related to fitness, nutrition, recovery, things of that nature. So please check that out. So, with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and talk about today's topic, which is going to be about mind-body connection and basically how mental health influences your physical fitness. So we're going to dive into various different things related to basically the interconnectivity when it comes to both mental and physical health or physical fitness, I should say. So that's basically what this topic is about, is the interconnectedness between those two factors. So, if you do have any questions about anything I discuss here, I can see your comments. So, I've made a change, whereas before I couldn't see your comments, but now I'm able to see comments as we do the live stream. So, feel free to stop me if you have any questions about anything I discussed today. Again, this is all free advice that I'm giving. I want to show you guys what I have to offer, the knowledge that I have as an online coach. So I hope that you find this helpful and valuable. So let's go ahead and get started with talking about today's topic, of course. And the some of the various things that I'm going to go over in this live stream are going to vary, and it's going to be all various topics that'll be, informative in many different ways. So what we're going to do is talk about an introduction to exactly what mind body connection is, how this can impact mental health and fitness, the psychological benefits of exercise, overcoming any mental barriers to fitness, and the role of social support as it relates to sticking to a workout routine and helping you to stay on track. So, sort of keep that in mind. These are the various topics that we're going to be discussing under the umbrella of mind body connection. So, the first point, of course, that we're going to talk about is the introduction to mind body connection. So, the mind body connection is essential because it helps us appreciate that our mental health can influence our physical health in significant ways. Chronic stress can lead to physical symptoms of like headaches, muscle tension, and even heart disease. On the flip side, physical activity and relaxation techniques can help reduce stress levels and improve our overall sense of well-being. Emotions such as anxiety or depression can affect our motivation, energy levels, and performance in physical activities. So again, we're going to dive deep into this and what it all means and what you can do to sort of stay focused as you are pursuing your fitness goal. So, the impact of mental health and fitness. So, there are many factors beyond these two different factors, but I want to touch on these in particular. So, motivation and adherence. So, mental health conditions such as depression and anxiety can significantly impact motivation levels. When someone is struggling with their mental health, they might find it challenging to stick to a fitness routine due to lack of energy, focus, or interest. So, this is something that I can really relate to and really give you insight on. So, some of you may not be aware fully of my background, but years ago, and I'm 29 now, but years ago in my early 20s, and still to this day, I struggle with it. I've struggled with anxiety throughout my life. So it's been a major factor as far as my adult life. It's affected a lot of aspects of things that I do in my daily life, and I've had to find ways to work around it where I'm able to, actually do things properly throughout life. So one of the things that was really hard for me was to get into a fitness routine. Um, Again, I had that sort of feeling of, not feeling like I belonged or just not feeling confident enough to go into a gym. And it took me a really long time. It wasn't until, later on, until, into my being an adult that I really got into the gym. And then it really wasn't until later, like into my mid 20s, when I really got serious with the gym. So it's been a long time, really adjusting to a routine. So what I'm trying to say here is that I've been through the ups and downs. I know what it's like to, go through moments where you don't understand how you're supposed to structure a plan. You don't understand, what workouts you should focus on. You're struggling with motivation. That's all things that I've dealt with personally myself. So that's one thing I can relate to. When it comes to working out, developing a workout routine, one thing that you have to really keep in mind is that you cannot rely solely on your motivation to work out. Motivation is not what you should rely on. What you should rely on is being disciplined. It's the hardest thing to do, but you just have to go into that workout and just do it. You don't need to think all about it. You just need to get up and do it. And that's one of the things that I had to understand myself because, like, when I got started, like, I didn't have anybody really directing me. A lot of it, of course, I do have, my dad and my brother, they have a little bit of experience with weightlifting. Um, but I kind of wanted to learn myself. I wanted to learn, what structure would work for me myself. And so whenever I got started, I was a little bit lost and, I didn't really know how to structure a plan. I just didn't know. Like when I started, I was working out every single day because I thought that's what you had to do. I thought that you had to work out every single day to progress, but it really doesn't work out that way. So that was the biggest thing whenever I got started. So what I had to learn is that I had to have a structure. I had to have a plan into how I'm going to reach that goal. And I had to not solely rely on that motivation, but rely on being consistent and being disciplined. It's a hard thing to do, but once you get over that, sort of hurdle, you do really develop, that routine. That routine just becomes natural. Like every day when I work out, it's just a natural part of my day. It's like something I don't even have to think about. I don't even think about whether or not I'm going, I'm just going. And that's how you have to think about it. You just have to think about it, I'm just going to the gym. It's just like anything else that you do. That's just not there's no second thought to it. You just do it. And that's the way that you need to see, fitness and a workout routine is that it's something that you just do in a day-to-day basis. And that's how I see it. And again, I know that's hard. It takes time to really, get there. The other point that I want to make across here is that energy levels and performance can have an impact as well. So, mental clarity and focus play a critical role in physical performance. High levels of stress or mental fatigue can impair concentration, coordination, and reaction times, leading to decreased performance during workouts or physical activity. So, in other words, having a good focus when it comes to your workouts is very important. One key factor when it comes to your workouts is that you do need to make sure that you are really getting enough recovery in your routine. Um, this is the hardest thing for a lot of people, but when you're developing a routine, you have to really focus on a lot of different aspects of your life in order to balance that routine. So, the three main things, of course, that you need to balance when you're trying to reach your fitness goal is to really balance your fitness, your nutrition, as well as your recovery. And recovery plays into this aspect that I'm talking about here. So recovery is, of course, what you do outside of your normal physical activity of exercising. That's sleeping. That's things that you do throughout the day. How rest is the most important part. So I try to make it a goal that when it comes to, reaching, reaching my fitness, I try to make it a goal every day. That when I'm trying to, get through my workout routines, that I have to make sure that I get proper recovery. So that proper recovery is essential. So I try to make it a goal that I get 8 hours of sleep at night. I make sure that my nutrition is where it's supposed to be. Again, that's another aspect. I don't want to dive deep into that aspect, but what I really want to focus on is recovery. So recovery plays an important part in your sleep, plays an important part on what you do throughout the day. So, and another thing too is your rest days. Rest days are extremely important as well. So having a good balance with that recovery and that rest, and having that balance there is important for helping to keep your energy levels elevated and where they should be in order to reach your goal. And I know that may have sounded confusing because I feel like I was talking in circles, but what I'm trying to say is that getting enough sleep at night is important. Building a consistent sleep routine is what I'm really trying to say here, is that you really need to do that. That's 8 hours of sleep, 8 to 7 hours of sleep at night is what's recommended. And so, what I want to connect this to mental health is that it's going to help you stay focused. It's going to help you have more energy when you're going to your workouts, as well as not only your workouts, but also your day-to-day life. Things that you're doing, throughout the day is important. So just keep that in mind. So the psychological benefits when it comes to exercise, there are a ton of various benefits as it relates to this. And I wanted to touch on just three main points. So exercise helps to stimulate the production of endorphins, which is referred to as feel-good hormones, which can help reduce stress and anxiety. Regular physical activity is linked to improved mood and a reduction of symptoms or depression and anxiety. Again, this is something I dealt with myself, and it does make a difference when you have a, workout routine. Physical activity helps to lower levels of the body's stress hormones, such as cortisol, and increases the production of these endorphins, which of course is that feel-good hormone. Exercise provides a healthy distraction and mental break from daily stressors. Exercise can also boost brain function, enhancing concentration, memory, and learning. Regular physical activity promotes the growth of new brain cells and improves overall brain performance. So, again, this is, another thing to where exercise has such a great impact and a massive impact when it comes to, reaching, when it comes to having a, good mental focus. So again, there's so many benefits. It's not just about exercise itself. It's not just about, working out. It's also about helping with your mental health. And like I said, I've dealt with it myself. I've dealt with, the struggle of, you know, really feeling lost and, and not feeling comfortable in my skin. I've felt it. I've struggled going to the gym. But once you get past that barrier, you're going to see so many benefits. And I feel like there's certain people that just don't stick with it long enough to really see those benefits. So just know that there's a ton of benefits. It does take time to really, get adjusted to a routine, but you're going to see so many major benefits. One thing that I noticed, and this connects to the psychological benefits, is that I noticed that I, since I worked out, I could almost really not have to drink any coffee or any energy drink. I mean, I still do drink those things, of course, but I could almost not drink those and be fine because my energy level is so, you know, in a good spot. I don't even have to rely on those things. So you're going to notice differences in how you feel psychologically and just your energy levels when you have a good workout routine and when your mental health, the benefits of your mental health from those workouts. So, positive thinking in your workout routine. So, this is something, what I'm trying to sort of touch on here is basically how you should, approach going into your workout routine, how you should have a positive mindset as you're getting started, as you're, going through your workouts each and every day. So just really thinking positively about your routine. So positive thinking fosters a can-do attitude and boosts motivation. When you approach your workouts with optimism and a belief in your abilities, you're more likely to stick with your fitness routine and push through challenges. The persistence helps you achieve your fitness goals more effectively and consistently. So this is one thing that I really struggled with when it came to, getting into a consistent routine is that I would always doubt myself whether I would progress. Like if I reached a plateau, I would always sort of have doubts and like, is this worth it? Should I still keep doing this? But then I always remind myself that if I don't keep going, I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to see the results. If I just stop here, I'm not going to see the results. So that's how you have to see it. You have to, whenever you have those doubts and if you reach a plateau, and what I mean by plateau is where, you going through an exercise routine, you've been going through it consistently for at least a few months, or at least, it could be a certain period of time and you get to a point where you just feel like you're not seeing results. I had that many times when I got started and I got frustrated and I was like, I feel like I'm not seeing results and I'm just thinking like, is this really worth this? Should I keep doing this? But then, I sort of changed my mindset and I say, okay, let me just keep going and see what happens. And that's how you have to see it. That's how you have to approach it. And a lot of people just lack that. They expect that the results instantly. You cannot expect that. And again, I had that same mindset, but I had to change my mindset and say, okay, let me keep going because I'm not going to know, it's never going to happen if I just stop. So if I just keep going, there's a higher chance of me seeing results. So that's how you have to see it. So, physical performance research has shown that a positive mindset can enhance physical performance. When you maintain a positive outlook, you're more likely to experience lower levels of perceived exertion during an exercise, making workouts feel easier and more enjoyable. This can lead to a better performance and improved results. So, keep that in mind as well. Better recovery. A positive outlook can enhance your recovery process. Stress and negativity can hinder recovery, leading to longer periods of soreness and fatigue. By focusing on positive thoughts and celebrating small victories, this can help reduce stress and support faster recovery. So, like I just talked about a little bit ago, with recovery, it's going to enhance your recovery when you're having positive thinking in your workout routines. So, that's another benefit to keep in mind. Just try to, really the main thing is really believing in yourself. This is something I struggled with too. And, it's a hurdle for some people to really get over into when they have doubts about themselves. You've got to really get over that hurdle. You have to fully believe in what you're trying to accomplish in order to accomplish it. You have to believe in yourself. That's really the key thing. And, this really could relate to anything outside of exercise too, but it makes an important, part of really reaching your goal, especially your fitness goal. So, how to overcome mental barriers in fitness. And, I sort of touched on that just a second ago with talking about believing yourself, but it is a key factor. So, here's some sort of tips to keep in mind when it comes to, having that proper mindset. Understanding your barriers. Understand what's holding you back is the first step to overcoming it. Common mental barriers include fear of failure, like what I just talked about, that fear, that lack of, belief in yourself, lack of motivation, self-doubt, and negative self-talk. Reflect on what specifically hinders your progress and address those thoughts directly. Set clear goals. This is the most important thing, and this is something that I talk about every time with a any potential client that I may have. The first thing I always talk about is your goals. Your goals are extremely important. If you don't have clear goals, and I talk about this all the time. If there's anybody that's wanting to come onto my program, I talk about this all the time. So you want to break your larger fitness goals into smaller, more manageable milestones. Setting clear, achievable goals helps to create a sense of direction and purpose, making it easier to stay motivated and track your progress. Celebrate each small victory to build confidence and maintain momentum. So, when it comes to defining a goal, and I've talked about this before, when you're defining a goal, you really want it to be about, you know, really exactly explain what it is you're going after. Like, you just don't want to say, I want to lose weight. You want to say that I want to lose 10 pounds in the next maybe 5 to 6 months, 10 pounds of body fat in the next 5 to 6 months. I want to work out consistently throughout the day for the next, 3 to 4 days until, maybe for an extended period of time. You want to like just clearly define those if you understand what I'm saying there. Really understand too why, quote unquote, why your goals are important to you. Why is this something that you want to do? Why are you doing this in particular? Is there a particular reason why you want to accomplish this goal? That's something that you have to ask yourself, and really sort of rank, basically rate that goal on 1 to 10. How motivated are you to reaching that goal? That's another thing that I usually ask anybody that I would potentially work with is like, how motivated is that how motivated are you to accomplish that? Another thing too is challenging negative thoughts, which I touched on a little bit ago. Negative self-talk can be a major roadblock. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, challenge those thoughts with positive affirmations. Replace "I can't do this" with "I'm capable and strong." Over time, this shift in mindset can significantly impact confidence and performance. So, like I just touched on just a few moments ago, when it came to me reaching a plateau, the first thing that popped into my mind when I wasn't seeing those results is I was starting to doubt myself. I was starting to say, is this really worth it? And then I got into the mindset of saying, okay, once I said, is this really worth it? Then I asked myself, well, if I stop, I'm not going to know. I'm not going to know if it's truly worth it because I'm not going to see any results if I just completely stop here now. It's just going to end. So that in itself is a definitive answer that there's not going to be results if I stop. But if I go, then I'll never know what will happen, if that makes sense. So just really focus on that. When you're having those doubts, counter those doubts with saying, like, well, if I stop, then I'm not going to see anything, but if I go, it may be smaller results, but I'm going to see something happen. So that's what you have to keep in mind. So the last major point, and we're going to be talking about the power of social support. So for some people, this is very important when it comes to a workout routine. For me, I work out by myself. It's not a major factor because I'm so, I'm past the stage of, having to have any sort of motivation to work out or having to rely on anything because it's so ingrained to me to consistently work out. But for some people, it takes a little bit of a push and it takes a little bit for, them to build that routine. And it helps when they have some sort of social support around them. So for any individuals who are, have to have that support or have to have somebody with you to really stay on track, this is some of the factors to keep in mind and how this can be beneficial. So this boosts motivation and accountability when you have social support. Social support provides a significant boost to your motivation. When you have friends, family, or a workout group cheering you on, you're more likely to stay committed to your fitness goals. Accountability partners help you stay on track and encourage you to push through challenging days. And that's one thing that I do for, my job itself, being a personal trainer. That's, my main goal is to provide accountability to my clients. A lot of my clients, not to say that all of them have to have to social support, but some of them have to have social support in order to stay consistent towards that goal. It helps them to stay motivated. So that's part of my job, not only to give them workout routines, give them advice on nutrition, or advice on recovery and things of that nature, but it's also, outside of coaching, it's also to provide them accountability. So this is, for a lot of people, this is very important. Working out with others. Working out with others can make exercise more enjoyable. Social interactions during physical activity can add an element of fun and reduce the perception of effort. When you enjoy your workouts, you're more likely to stick with them and make exercise a consistent part of your routine. Again, another benefit when you're having somebody with you, it makes it feel less like just a workout and more like time that you can enjoy with a friend or family member or anything of that sort. So just keep that in mind as well. And again, this is something that may not be relevant to everybody. Like I said, with me, I don't, for me, I don't really have to rely on anybody because I've sort of built the mindset. But for some people, it's a little bit harder to really, you know, be encouraged to go to the gym, especially if you're going alone. That's not easy for everybody. Some people, it's really simple, but for others, it's hard for them to, go in the gym without having anybody with them. That social support is important. So just keep that in mind. If you're somebody who, you know, really struggles with going to the gym alone, try to find somebody with you who you feel is, trusted and that you enjoy your time around and go have them come with you to the gym. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So this is basically sort of summing up what we've talked about today. So, why it all matters. So, positive mindset can boost physical performance. Visualization and mental focus leads to a better exercise outcome. Mental attitude influences commitment and effort. Self belief and optimism drive consistent exercise habits. Physical activity helps to manage that stress and anxiety. Exercise promotes relaxation and emotional well being. Positive thinking aids in faster recovery as well as reduce stress related to impacts on muscle repair and overall recovery. So there's a lot of things to keep in mind when it comes to the interconnectivity to mind body connection and just physical health and mental health as well. So that's all that I wanted to go over with you guys today. Again, I hope that you find this helpful and valuable. I enjoyed talking about this topic because this is something that is extremely, relevant to what I've been through, but I hope that it's beneficial to you to sort of, change the way that you think about exercise. And that's a lot of what it takes is really altering your mindset and focusing on that discipline and, that consistency. That's what you need to focus on. And again, defining those goals, like I mentioned about goals, that's the main thing that you really need to get a hold of is why those goals matter. Why do you want to accomplish this? Why, what sort of period of time do you want to get there? What is motivating you to do this? How motivated are you to accomplish this goal? So that's what you need to keep in mind. Again, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. You can contact me on so many different platforms. So, of course, you can contact me on Facebook, but I have multiple other social media platforms such as X, Instagram. I have a Threads account, a ton of different accounts that you can check out. But if you want more information on online coaching, you can visit bponlinefitness.com. Everything related to my online coaching is there. I also have ways for you to check out my credentials. That's where this little ribbon in here is on the right. So you can check out any of my credentials I have. If you want information on that, I can send that to you so that you know that I have a legitimate certification. So that's just, for me to provide more accountability to you guys. So if you want information on that, feel free to reach out and I can provide you with that to where you can view all the credentials that I have as a personal trainer. So let me know of that. But with all that being said, guys, thank you for taking the time to check out this live stream. As always, I will have another live stream next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. But once again, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.